All right, what we're looking at here today is the new Oupes Exodus 1200. Considering the capacity and capabilities of this power station, it's a very budget-friendly option for many different use cases. Today we're going to put it to the test in some real-life situations to see what we can expect out of it in the real world. First, we're going to do a quick unboxing and go over the basic specs and whatnot, and then we're going to do a grid-down simulation, as if the power went out, and see what we can do. We're going to make dinner for the family, charge up all of our devices, and find out how much power we have left after doing all that to see what sort of family entertainment we can do before bedtime. So stick around and let's see how well it performs. Welcome to the Enigmascape DIY Solar and Off-Grid channel. If you're new here, or even if you're already a subscriber, you might like to know that we're changing things up a bit around here. And we're expanding the kind of content we create to more fully incorporate what we are all about. And we're calling that prepsteading. The world has become more and more unstable in many different ways, and our goal is to become as self-sufficient as possible and be prepared for whatever life throws our way. Eventually, we plan to buy raw land and build an off-grid homestead as soon as our budget allows for that. But for now, we're doing what we can. We're honing our existing skills as well as learning new ones along the way. Life is a journey, and we hope you'll join us in our journey toward a more prepared and self-sufficient lifestyle. So hit that thumbs button to help keep us motivated, and smash that subscribe button if this sounds like the kind of channel you might be interested in. I really appreciate all the support. Now, let's get on with the video. Alright, what we got here is the brand new, budget-friendly Exodus 1200 portable power station from the folks over at Oupes. It has 992 watt hours and a 1200 watt inverter. All right, let's open this up and check it out. All right, got a manual here. We'll take a look at that in a minute. All right, we got a power station and a couple of cables here. Looks like a cigarette lighter adapter charge cable and the standard computer style AC charge cable. What's this? This tip. For optimal performance, fully drain and recharge on first use to preserve battery life. We suggest charging the battery every 3 months. This will friendly. That's unusual. Usually you want to charge them all the way first, but we will do it the way that they say. We will hook something up to this, drain the battery down to 0, and then charge it all the way back up, and then we'll put this to the test. Well, the fan's a little bit loud, and it came at 68% with shipping. That's just about right. It should be between 60 and 70% for safe shipping. All right, well, let's plug something in and drain this battery. All right, I'm going to go ahead and transfer the power from here over to my big Mango Power E power station over here. So first we got to turn on the AC. All right, we're charging up at we're outputting 428 watts. We're going to go ahead and let that run until this is completely drained. That fan's not as loud as it is when it started up, so that's not too bad. All right, we got this fully charged up here. So here's what we're going to do. I like to test things out in a way that people might really use things under various conditions and circumstances. So for today's test, we're going to pretend like we are in a blackout that happened just before dinner time. So here's the scenario for our simulated blackout situation. Okay, so let's say we lost power several hours ago now, and we have no idea how long it's going to take to get the power back on. What we do know about the situation is that there's been either a hurricane or a tornado or a wildfire or something serious. And so we can reasonably assume it could be days before power comes back on, maybe even longer. Let's also say that emergency crews have turned off the natural gas as well, or that we live in an all-electric home. So let's say it's 6 p.m. and my family's getting hungry. I know I don't have enough power in this power station to run my refrigerator for very long. Now, it could run the refrigerator, just not for very long. And I know the power could be out for several days or longer. So I know we need to eat what's in the refrigerator first before things start going bad. I don't have a whole lot in there, but I do have some pork chops that we are already planning to have for dinner tonight. We intended to make baked potatoes, but I know my oven will take 1800 watts, and it takes about an hour for that. So again, we know that we don't have near enough power in this power station to be able to make baked potatoes. So instead, I'm going to use some instant mashed potatoes. So I grabbed the pork chops I had in the refrigerator and some instant mashed potatoes from the cupboard because they're quick and easy and don't need a whole lot of power to cook. So let's get this meal cooked up and see how much power it takes and find out how much power we'll have left over to do the rest of the things we need to do. All right, we're going to start off here with our kettle to boil some water for some instant mashed potatoes. All right, so that's burning 695 watts. All right, so that just took a couple minutes. So all we're going to do there is, these are instant mashed potatoes. We're just going to use this old sour cream container. And then I've pre-measured out my potatoes here. Got a spoonful of butter. And pour that on top and mix it up. Put this lid on here, and that steams for 5 minutes while we get the rest of our stuff going here. So that used 4% of the battery for the potatoes. Go ahead and get our new wave induction cooktop going here, and we'll get our pork chops started. These are pretty thin pork chops, so it won't take too long to cook these. I'm going to go pour off this excess liquid here, and we're going to go ahead and cook this on high. A little bit of olive oil on there. And I like to use this garlic pepper. All this stuff comes from Dollar General. A little bit of onion powder. And a little bit of paprika. I'm going to go ahead and get those spices side down and do the same thing on the other side. We're trying to conserve on dishes as well here. Alright, so we're now pulling 1,000 watts for this. And this should take maybe 10 to 15 minutes here. Alright, there's our pork chops. They're looking pretty good. What I would normally do would take these out and get a roux going on here and make a little bit of gravy for these mashed potatoes. But again, we're trying to save power so that we can use this for the rest of the night for TV and whatever else it is that we're going to do for the night. So we're going to go ahead and call that done and cut this off here and unplug it. Alright, so we used 20% of the battery to make dinner with instant mashed potatoes and 4 pork chops to feed the family. That's not too bad. Alright, so we finished our dinner and we're going to end our evening with some family entertainment. So I've got my Xbox here and a 50-inch TV that we're going to hook up and see how much power that's going to take. So it's looking like it takes about 125 watts of power to run both the TV and the Xbox. I'm just curious how much power it takes to play a fairly simple older game like King's Quest, and then I'm going to pop into DVD and see if that takes any more power to run. This is one of those times where having an old movie collection on DVD is really helpful for when the internet goes out. So we popped in an old DVD of The Bourne Identity, and it's looking like this drawing almost the exact same amount of power consumption as it did with playing the video game, 125 watts.
A few moments later.
Alright, so according to our display here, we should be able to run this 125 watt load watching either a movie or playing a video game for about 4 hours. It was fluctuated between 4 and 5 hours, so I'd say roughly a little more than 4 hours probably, which is more than enough time to enjoy some entertainment before we go to bed. All right, so we ended our movie with about 35% battery left. I lost the footage for that, but we had about 35% battery capacity left on this thing after doing all of those things, which was more than enough to keep our to charge up all of our 4 cell phones with all these different ports and stuff here. So let's go ahead and go over some of these specifications of what this thing has to offer. So I already said before, it's a 1200 watt inverter, which is the AC power over here, and it has 992 watt hours of battery capacity inside. Now, it has 2 QC or USB-A QC 3.0 plugs, which I believe that's about 18 watts of power for each of those ports. And then there's 2 PD ports, which are 140 watts. That's kind of the new peak standard of USB-C ports. So you could charge a newer laptop or a MacBook Pro, or some of the new Windows machines even use the 140 watt. So that's nice to know that you're kind of future-proofing your purchase too by getting something that has the highest power capacity available on the USB-C right now. And then you've got to turn on your AC side, you'd push this button here. Turn on your DC side, you'd turn this on, and this is all the DC stuff. And then the center button here is this IoT, which stands for Internet of Things. That's basically your Bluetooth button to turn on your Bluetooth or your Wi-Fi. So it does have an app, which you can see right here. It's got these 2 barrel ports and the 12 volt, 10 amp cigarette lighter port for running some other DC type of equipment. On the side here, we've got where your AC power comes in, and this is where your solar panels would hook up, and this is just a reset switch if something was to blow. Okay, so this supports 240 watt solar panels. Now, Oupes does make a 240 watt solar panel, but you can use a 200 watt or 100 watt, whatever you need. This is a 7909 jack here. It has this nice handle for carrying it around, which is pretty convenient. The only thing I don't like is the way that you have to set this down at an angle when you're holding it like that. But it's probably too heavy for, do you have a handle type one? So that's nice and solid. That you're never having a problem with that breaking or nothing. And it is pretty easy to carry, really. It's just setting it down is a little awkward. All right, we'll go ahead and get some quick measurements here. So we're looking at right about 14 inches wide by 9 inches tall. And then all the way to the back of the handle here is 10.5 inches. To here, I think about 9 inches. It's a fairly compact size considering how much capacity and stuff that it has. Now, this place here sent me this pretty cool tape measure from Inkermo. It's a laser tape measure. So it has a laser beam on it where you can check the measurements from a distance. The only thing that I found weird about it is the measurement when you use the laser actually starts from the back of the tape measure. So you can go like that. It's got a laser beam here. That's not probably going to show up on the camera, but anyway, I thought that was really cool. And it's surprisingly accurate. It was I did about 16 feet measurement, and it was only about 1/4 of an inch off. So that's pretty cool. Now, in the morning, we'd simply hook this up to a couple 100 watts of solar and charge it back up and be able to repeat the process and extend the duration of time if we needed to, because again, we don't know how long the power was going to be out. If you wanted to be able to run your refrigerator, I recommend having multiple power stations if you're trying to do a long-term power outage situation. And you'd need a much bigger one. The Oupes Mega 2 at least probably, and probably the Oupes Mega 3 would do a really good job on keeping your refrigerator powered. But most other things could be run from this. They are having a really good deal on this right now, and I do have a 5% coupon code that's unique to my channel, and I'll go ahead and drop those links to that down in the description below, as well as the Oupes Mega 2 and Mega 3 you may want to check out, and a 200 watt panel that I think is pretty good, works pretty good with this size of a power station. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.